We left off page 214. We're in the Mishna Berura Succos. Speaking about if the candle went out and it's a tremendous inconvenience to go to someone else's sukkah, so Ramos says he has no obligation to move to another sukkah. Chovdal Badover, Haini B'Shas Achilo. Aval Pshita, Afilu Mishain Lo Mokum Chatzir Livnos Lo Sukkah, Shetzorach Lahamtzi Lo Mokum Livnos Lo Sukkah, Vos Shem Beisuk Der Shegam Kol Hashon Regil Livnos Lefanos Bais Lebayis, Vos Shem Beiso. He's saying over here, we're speaking, at the time comes to eat, you have to transfer to another location. But he says, it's understandable, a person doesn't have sufficient room in his courtyard to build a sukkah, that he has to find another location to build a sukkah. Even though it's an inconvenience, you have to walk there. It doesn't make a difference, because that's where his residence is. No, this is on sukkahs. On sukkahs, you don't have to go, because this is your residence, and it's a residence which is not functional. So to go somewhere else, you have no obligation, right? What about before sukkahs? Person doesn't have enough room in his courtyard to build a sukkah, he has to build it somewhere else. So you have no residence. You have no residence for sukkahs. You have to create a temporary residence for sukkahs, despite the inconvenience. So go build it somewhere else. That's going to be your residence. Here you have a residence, but now it's not functional because the lights went out. So I have to find myself another location. So that's mitzvah, right? That's what he's differentiating. Avalot, he says, if you want to put a sheet or a garment to protect the candle from the wind, that it shouldn't blow out, you're permitted. But he says, don't put the material, the sheet, under the schach. So the wind shouldn't come through the schach. This we had earlier, that if you have things falling in, you want to put a sheet under to catch all the leaves that fall down, you invalidate the sukkah because you're sitting under the sheet. We differentiate. If the sheet is an ornament, which you're ornamenting the schach, so then the decoration is subsumed by the schach. Right? Remember we discussed this. We made a differentiation. But over here, where it's to protect you, it has nothing to do with the schach, so this actually invalidates the schach. If you test l'dei rishon, sosium hamachabe kavoso, omlo fima shebianu shem mokum atchak shenemoel priso min atzad v'tzorach lechol chutz l'sukkah. Now, although we rule like the first halach, remember we discussed machlokes Rabbeinu Tam and the other rishonim. Once you have a kosher sukkah, putting the sheet underneath will not invalidate the schach. Will not. It's only over there because Rabbeinu Tam learns it's speaking where that if the sheet doesn't catch all the leaves that fall, it's going to become chamosam rub mitzilosa. That's the reason why the sheet invalidates it. Because why do you have more shade than sun? It's the sheet. Because the sheet is preventing the leaves from falling. But if you have the schach independent of the sheet would provide enough shade, the sheet would not invalidate the schach. Right? That was we don't. The Mechaber doesn't rule this way. That's a secondary opinion. So the Mishna Berura says, but let's say it's a situation, if you don't put the sheet on the schach, the candle is going to be blown out, and you're going to be forced to eat in the house. So now, remain in the sukkah with the sheet on the schach, but at least you'll be fulfilling the mitzvah according to the secondary opinion. Although we rule like the first opinion, right? But what about, is it better to eat in the house or better to eat in the sukkah based on the second opinion? So that he says, the Mishna Berura says it's better to remain in the sukkah. So it comes out, it's interesting. Because we discussed this. It starts raining, and you have an awning. Is it better to go into? You say, look, we don't rule like Rabbeinu Tam. Might as well go in the house. Or do we say no? Since you're able to fulfill the mitzvah according to the secondary opinion, it's better to stay in the sukkah. So it's not clear. I mean, once you have the table sit in the sukkah, of course you're not going in if the rain's not coming in on you, right? It's just as comfortable. But what's the point? It's covered. The answer, but there is Rabbeinu Tam. You actually fulfilled the mitzvah. Or do we say we don't even value that opinion? But from here it seems to be, he's saying if you're putting the sheet under the schach, although according to the primary opinion it's not valid, but it pays to remain there because at least according to the secondary opinion you're fulfilling the mitzvah. Yeshlism Radeh Shniyah, the Mater Slitlo Sadin Kadei Lohogin, that you could hang the sheet, suspend the sheet under the schach to protect you. Ein Lesu Zekim Kshiyach Gasod Meschach Arbot Tvochim. Does ein Botla Sodn Lagabe Aschach? He says, what he's saying here, you could, the Mater Slitlo Sodin Kadei Lohogin, ein Lesor Zev Kim Shiyach Gasod Meschach Arbot Tvochim. Right? Because then you have, it's like Sukkah Taka Sukkah. You're creating, if it's 4 Tvochim, it's a separate entity. If it's under the schach, at least, it's assumed by the schach. Right? According to the second opinion. Does ein Botel Asodin, L'gabe schach, Shabbos Yom Tiv Nochen Izor Shlo Yarchik Shloshet Tvochim, Cholosh Min Aschach, Nuchashash Oel, Wurde in the Mutel Bimkom Trach, Livro Sodin Lemala Al Aschach, Geit Lohogin. He says you could even spread the sheet on top of the schach, not under the schach. That would be similar to the awning on top. Bein Bechol, Bein B'Shabbos V'Yom Tiv, or Chein Mibnei Chash HaRoim Sheyom Shchachim Sukkos B'Sokin. He says it's better to do it inside than outside, because people say, look, he's using a sheet for the schach. Ein Lohokel K'Shemasachi L'Malo. Elokei Nikol Lakosh B'Cham Zerak Lohogin Ne'aruach. You're only permitted to put it on top of the schach, only what's obvious to all, that you're not using the sheet as schach, but rather only to protect the sukkah from the wind. I'm Mogan Avrom Leo Simin Tov Reish Chavtes. To Mikol Mokum Lo Yivorach Bezer Cholzet Birchas Leisha Basukkah. It's understood. The shlach is closed. Even if it's raining, you're not going to say Leisha Basukkah, because we don't rule like Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam is not the primary opinion. Rabbeinu Tam would make a bracha in that situation. His rationale is once you have schach, you put schach, and even if you have a tree growing over it, it's not invalidated. Because the tree, the schach, independent of anything else, provides more shade than sun. It's not invalidated. You have an awning, better than going to the house. Same thing, she's talking about. Here he's talking about protecting the candle from the wind by spreading a sheet over the schach or under the schach. If it goes out, you're forced to go into the house. Same thing. The awning should be spread. Right, exactly. Most people don't conduct themselves this way. See, usually, very often it starts raining. If you're there already, you don't go in the house. But to go set the table in the sukkah when you could eat in the house, 99.9% of people don't. They don't do it. It seems to be that's the right thing to do, according to the Mishna Berura. Then he says, what about if the sukkah, it's cramped, it's not as comfortable? He says that's not considered mitzdayer. A lack of comfort is not mitzdayer. Lo mikra mitzdayer, the derech ha'odom lefom lishon kach kofuf. Because people do sleep sometimes when they're cramped. Right? What's the minimum shear? 7 by 7 tvachim. You have to be curled up to be able to fit in there. The pishut initially was built in a way where you could actually spread out comfortably. Now the sukkah has become limited, and now he's cramped. Person is very sensitive. We call istiness. Right? He's very sensitive, and for him, he's mitzdayer. This level of lack of comfort, he's pained by it. He's not obligated to go in. Like we gave you an example, person's like an old person, if he's cramped, his arthritis bothers him to such a point, it's excruciating pain. Okay, so a person is very sensitive. Getting in and getting, no, it's when you're sleeping, are you in pain? Not getting there, right? It's when you fulfill the mitzvah, are you in a state of pain? V'afal pikein yotzli Chovos ba'achilo kein b'shas asiyo ha'yiroi lididei lecho v'lishan shom. Aval gav shetzorch lichbof yodav v'raglov, although he has to curl himself up because of the limitation of space. Ha'afim ein lo eitzo hech lifshot raglov chutz l'sukkah. The posher raglov chutz l'sukkah kuli almo lo mikri mitztayer b'kach. Chayv lishan shom. What about if you have to extend your feet out of the sukkah? The majority of your body fits in the sukkah, but your feet are going to be extended outside of the sukkah. Right? It's like your feet are come out from under the covers. We ruled the table has to be in the sukkah. Rabbinically, there's a concern you gravitate after your table. You'll end up in the house or outside the sukkah. Then he says, what is mitztayer? He said something interesting, the Ramo. The Ramo says, right. As long as it's not from the waist down. It's like, okay? Not a problem. Correct. Then he says over here, very important. Then he says, so the way we understood it is, let's say the alternative is no better than the sukkah itself. That's not mitzvah. Let's say there's a certain stench. Whether you're in the sukkah or out of sukkah, you have the same stench. So the reason why you're in the state of discomfort is not because you're in the sukkah. Right? Let's say in the old there's a skunk in the area. So whether you're in the sukkah or in your house, the same pungent smell you smell. And it's disturbing. So by leaving the sukkah, what are you accomplishing? Are you mitzvah because you're in the sukkah? It's unrelated to the sukkah. It's a circumstance. So then you stay there. So because the discomfort is not attributed to the sukkah. Okay. I mean, this comes up during Shiva. An older person, God forbid, is sitting Shiva, he has to sit on the floor. An elderly person is not able to. So what? So he sits in a chair. That person sits in a chair. They have no choice. There's certain situations. Sometimes it comes to eating. People, they're not able to eat on the floor. So they have to eat at the table. They have no choice. What are they supposed to do? Ovil chayv b'sukkah. No. Reclining something else. The reclining is unrelated to mitzvah. They're not able. Well, then they're not yotzei. A man is not yotzei if he doesn't recline. A woman doesn't have to recline. A man also he's not yotzei. I mean, right? I mean, for Ashkenaz it's not such a problem. So he's not yotzei. Rabbinically, he's not yotzei. He's an onus. One of his persons not well. He's not able to eat the matzah. He's not able to eat the matzah. So this person on a Torah level would be yotzei. It's only reclining is on rabbinical. So rabbinical law of reclining. He's not yotzei. What can he do? He has no choice. He's not able to recline. Okay. Ovil chayv b'sukkah. Now, why shouldn't he be chayv b'sukkah? If it's during the Shiva period, there's no Shiva. It's Yom Tiv, right? The Yom Tiv cancels the Shiva. So what are you talking about? Is during the Shloshim or during the year? And why should it be Potter? Right? This we'll see. Ovel chayv b'sukkah. Avagav nitztar potter min asukah. Hari milit tzara de memelo habolo machmas asukah. His state of discomfort, his distress, is unrelated to the sukkah. Has nothing to do with the sukkah. Right? Is the sukkah the cause of his distress? Not the cause of distress. He says, well, he needs comfort. He has to be in an exceptionally comfortable setting to distract him from his grief. He's still not potter. Because the source of his problem is not the sukkah. He needs a distraction. Instead, he's making a differentiation. A person normally needs a certain comfort level. He doesn't have it. He's in pain. the Easterners, he doesn't have to go to the sukkah. Here, what's the source of his pain? It's not the sukkah. He needs a distraction. So the sukkah is not creating the pain. He needs something, so therefore he's obligated to be in the sukkah. Aval hochiyu de kamatzi de kamatzar nafshe yiboyle lishuvi daite kidei lekaim has a mitzvah. Right, he has to take hold of his life. Kosev sefer Tanya. Interesting. First time I ever remember him quoting the Tanya. Same sefer Tanya. Kosev sefer Tanya. Im meso yechoviv kol kach shein yochel asir melibo. Let's say he's totally beside. He's consumed with his grief. It's out of control. Totally consumed. Potter. Umayri shemitzar b'shivosa b'sukkah. It's a chiddush. It's quoted. That's what he's quoting Tanya. Ayin b'seif yishus yak shecholik b'zel Tanya pri begodim mistapik linyazer. Onin b'chol hamoed. Afil b'yom tishrot zel likvor al yidei nochri b'yom tevishon al yidei shro b'yom tevsheni. Dos chaldini aninus. Echai b'sukkah ayin shom b'seif b'kori. Yaakov mitzaded shu potter ayin shom. And only during the year, before the burial. It's Chol HaMoed. For the right Chol HaMoed, everybody agrees. An only doesn't have to sit in the sukkah. Osu mitzvah potem in a mitzvah, or he's not permitted. What about it's the second day Yom Tov, which the law he's permitted outside of Israel. Also, he says he's an only. Not even the question. What about the first day Yom Tov and the burial is taking place? It's going to be done through a non-Jew, which is also permitted. But somebody has to instruct a non-Jew. He's also an only. Even the first day Yom Tov. Because here he's what? He's occupied with the needs of the burial, even though he's not doing the actual burial himself. Well, Jews are not involved in the burial. No, he could delegate it through a non-Jew. So because he's connected in that to that degree, he's an only. That's why he's exempt even the first day Yom Tov. Well, that's always that way. That's always that way. It's always that way. Today we're make a lot. What? No. He's asking a question. A person, let's say a person, he doesn't have the mindset to deal with all these. Somebody else, is he an only? Say if that's the case, he shouldn't be an only, right? The whole idea is osik mitzvah potem in a mitzvah, right? He's not osik. This man's not involved. I mean, unrelated. It's throughout the year. It should be that. No, we don't. A person does not. Why? Because there's another reason. The whole idea is being on call. It's a disrespect. Even if a person has to be consulted with. So being involved with something else is a disrespect. Not being continuously available to respond to whatever the need may be, that's a level of disrespect. So even though he's delegated, somebody else has taken it over, it does make a difference. No, but you're not permitted to eat outside the sukkah. Here, the man's going to be eating out of the sukkah. Is he going to eat in the sukkah? Does he have to make sure to go to the sukkah to eat? If he has the only location he can eat is the sukkah, because that's the only protected location. Of course, he's not going there for the mitzvah. He's not going there for the mitzvah. He wouldn't say a bracha. He wouldn't say a bracha. He doesn't say a bracha on the food he eats. Right. No, if he had no choice, he had nowhere else to eat. But let's say somewhere else, does he have to go look for a sukkah? He doesn't have to look for a sukkah. He's an only. If it's his own house, he would go out of the house into the sukkah, which is obvious. He's doing it for the mitzvah. He's not permitted. He's not permitted. But let's say he wants to eat with the family. With the family. He's not going there for the mitzvah. He's going there to be with the family, because that's where the meal is being served. Or to provide some sense of feeling for the family. Of course, he's permitted. Of course, family, they're not only. There's a story many years ago in El Al. This person was traveling to Israel. You know the story. This man is sitting, he had a beard, black yarmulke, cloth yarmulke. And he's reading a novel, or a historical novel. They bring him the food, doesn't get up to wash, eats without a bracha. And somebody's observing this, and this person's getting agitated. the observer. I mean, the man looks like a rabbi, and what's going on over here? He must be some kind of a charlatan. He's putting on, what's this, a charade? He gets himself worked. He says, what's going on over here? What kind of Jew are you? Sit, you look like a rabbi, this, you don't wash, no bracha. He says, he's an one. That's what he told him. He's not permitted to study. He's not permitted to what? That's why he's reading this historical novel, whatever we made. That's it. And when he realized that, he felt like, felt like 2 cents, the person who was critical of this. Okay?